All right, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this Q&A session from the Science Faculty. My name is Adam West. I'm the Deputy Dean of Undergraduate Matters for the Science Faculty. I happen to be a biologist and interested in climate change, and I have research programs in that area, but I also serve as making sure that our undergraduate program functions smoothly, make sure that our course offerings are of an international standard, and make sure that our students know about how we progress through the system and facilitate our wonderful science program that we have. With me today is Ms. Karen Wienand, who is our faculty manager. She's an extremely experienced and seasoned veteran of the university and is full of information and will hopefully be answering most of your questions today. So welcome to the session. I see there's 132 people here already, and we look forward to trying to answer any questions that you might have for us. The way this will work is questions will be popped into the Q&A, and between the two of us, we'll look at them and then publish them and answer them as they come in. And we'll obviously try to lump questions and answer questions in sort of themes so that we can get through as much as we can. So if your specific question doesn't get published or answered, we'll do our best to get through as many as we can in the time that we have. Okay, so we've already received some questions, and what we'll do now is I'm going to hand over to Karen, and Karen will answer our first question, and then we'll continue to monitor the chat and take the questions as they come from there. Thanks. Over to Karen.
Thanks, Adam. So the first question that I've published is human anatomy offered, and what is the requirements needed to study it? So the simple question is yes, it's offered, and it's offered under a Bachelor of Science degree. But human anatomy, we call it a major in human anatomy and physiology, and it's offered by the Faculty of Health Sciences, but it's part of our Bachelor of Science degree. So you will start with a normal BSc degree, and at second year level, a student will only then start taking the human anatomy and physiology courses. And there's limited entrance into those subjects because there is a limited number of places. So students are selected at the start of the first year, and that's based on the results in chemistry and biology. So you take a first year that includes chemistry, biology, maths, and other first year subjects relevant to your other major. So I think hopefully that answers that question. So I see there's another question about if you choose genetics and human anatomy and physiology as my BSc majors, what do I study in first year? So I think I've sort of covered it in my previous response. So we encourage students to take a general first year, and we have a number of variations of a first year. So obviously, if you're majoring in something like computer science, you're going to take computer science instead of some of the other subjects that you need. But every student must take maths and stats in their first year, and that's a degree requirement. And then for subjects like genetics and human anatomy, they require the same first year subjects. So that would be biology, and they're 2 half courses of biology, as well as chemistry, a full course of chemistry. And then because students are required to take the equivalent of 4 first year subjects, they could choose something else like physical science. You could even choose computer science to fill in. So those are then almost your elective courses, but that's generally what, the courses you would take at first year level. Adam, I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
Thanks, Karen. I think that's fine. I think that we've got several questions that are along that theme, where I've published a few of them. Questions that relate to what's required to get into the program. So what are the sort of minimum requirements to get into? And we had a question on astrophysics, but there's some others in the chat. So maybe could you just spend a minute talking about the minimum requirements, or what our requirements are for admission into the program?
Okay, so should I share my screen, I've got, I think that might be easy, and I think that'll cover a lot of questions. So let's go with that one. I'm going to try and share my screen if I can now find it. Okay, there. Adam, is that visible?
I can see it, yes, thanks, Karen.
Okay, so as you will see from that document, let me now just get back to it. You will see that the minimum subject requirements is at least 70% for maths and at least 60% for physical science. And then there are other sort of subject alternatives, but let's not focus on that yet, because I want to just stress to everyone that achieving 70% in maths and 60% in physical science is not going to get you into the science faculty. You should aim for guaranteed admission, as indicated here, to achieve a point score of at least 660 and above. And that would, if you considering that in our calculation of our points to get that faculty point score of 660, we double the points for maths and physical science. So we looking at a score out of 800, and then so there's yeah, is it 800? So then there's because we then have 8 subjects, we divide that by 8, and you get over 80% average. So you should aim for an average of at least 82, 83 per subject to get a guaranteed offer. And, you know, it is extremely competitive. And for the admissions for 2021, we only went down, we only used that guaranteed band. So we only admitted students who had achieved an average of 660. We did go slightly into, as we call it, band B, which has a weighted point score added to it, which, you know, takes various other factors into account, personal circumstances and background. But basically, the advice we give people is, if you want to have, for a guaranteed admission, you need to achieve 660 points at least. And then just to cover the exceptions regarding, I mean, physical science is needed for admission generally, but if a student has not taken physical science, we still need 2 science subjects, and then we will look for information technology or for life sciences. Now, information technology can only be used as your second science subject where you have not taken physical science, and then where you have applied for 2 computer science majors, namely computer science itself or business computing, which you take with computer science. It isn't applicable to any other science major. And then life sciences can also be taken as your science subject and doubled, where you've applied for archaeology and environmental and geographical science only, because that's the only majors that do not require a student to complete chemistry in their first year of study. Well, at least it's the subjects that don't require physical science or chemistry. So you know, you don't need, it's for where you don't need to do either physics or chemistry, and the only majors are archaeology and environmental and geographical science. So I'll stop there.
Thanks, Karen. Maybe I can take a question, and Karen, maybe you want to have a look at the questions while I chat now and pick out some of the common threads. So there've been several questions around, let me pick on 2 things here, the double major issue. So when you apply to the science program, must you apply to double majors? And the answer to that is yes. When you apply to science, you list what your preferred majors are, but you are not held to those at the time of application. So let's say, for example, you applied and you asked to do, in your application, you said, I want to do physics and astrophysics. That would serve to give us an indication of what you were choosing to do. But when you arrive and you enroll in our program, once you're accepted and you arrive and you enroll, you actually get to change your mind. You get to choose again what you would like to do, and you can shift into any program that you meet the requirements for. So again, if you've got the maths and the physical science, that basically means you can move into any of our majors. We want 2 majors, and the 2 majors is so that you get the requisite amount of credits and you get the requisite amount of experience in our science program. And we have quite a wide array of majors, and many of our students pick very different things. So very few of our students take exactly the same curriculum. They often end up taking combinations of different majors, or they take different elective subjects. So just to try and answer that, yes, you do need to indicate what you want to study now, but you're not held to that, and you can change your mind as you go along in the program. So hopefully that answers that one. I see several questions on biology, zoology, ornithology, herpetology, marine biology is fantastic. I'm a biologist. I'm very happy to see this. Yes, so we have a general biology major, and in that major we have many different courses that focus on these key aspects, but you tend not to specialize in those specific subjects in your undergraduate degree. You rather get a more general biological training, and then you can choose to specialize in those subjects in your postgraduate degree if you wanted to do that, if you went into honors or a master's degree, etc. So marine biology is a big focus in our university, so absolutely there's a good marine biology program. And the same with ornithology. We also have a very good, the Percy Fitzpatrick Institute is a world-renowned ornithological institute. So those, I think, were the biological questions. And then I just wanted to talk a little bit about the extended degree program. So there's a question around that. And the way our extended degree program happens is our standard BSc is a 3-year program. The extended degree program happens over 4 years. And effectively what that means is it means that you get a little bit of extra time to adapt to the university experience, to maybe get some support on certain areas where you feel like you need it. And it gives you a little bit of extra time to adapt to our program. You still end up taking the same courses. You still end up with exactly the same qualification. The way it works is you just apply into our general program. You do not apply specifically for the extended degree program. Once you're in our program, then after the first 5 weeks, we write our first set of tests. And based on those test results, you meet with a student advisor who consults with you and says, look, you know, where are you? How are these results? How do you feel about them? You know, we can tell you how we feel about them. We can have a conversation about what the best way is for you to make the most rapid progress through our program. And so we tend to advise, I don't know, 15 to 20% of our students to consider doing the extended degree program, as it often ends up being a much more productive way for them to move through our program. Okay, so you don't apply for it ahead of time. You can go into that program once you're ready with us. Okay, hopefully that answers the extended degree program. Karen, can I hand over back to you if you want to tackle some of them about the IEB, if you want to handle that?
Yes, so thanks. I think there's the question about, yeah, the IEB curriculum. We use the results achieved in the IEB in exactly the same way as we do the NSC. So I know we've been challenged on this, but unfortunately, currently that's the way it's dealt with. So if you achieve 60% in the IEB, it's treated in the same way as a 60% for NSC. So, and then the requirements are the same. There was a question about what do you require in order to study computer science. Our primary requirements are the maths and the physical science. So even if you are applying to study computer science, you still need to, if you've taken physical science, we look at that, we use that result in the calculation, and that's the result that is doubled. If a student has not taken physical science at school, we will use the result for IT for those who applied for computer science and business computing. I think that's hopefully response to that. There was a question about the grade 11. I don't know if I've published that one, but just to respond to the grade 11 query about how is grade 11 results used, we will start looking at your grade 11 final. It's a final result for us at the moment, and it's a more comprehensive result, than say your April tests and your June tests. But we look at whenever an applicant has met our criteria, we will respond to them and potentially make them a conditional offer, or we'll say we wait further matric results. We can't confirm an offer based on grade 11. So we treat it as an interim result, and we can make a conditional offer based on that. We haven't received a final directive yet as to whether we can make a conditional offer based only on grade 11. We did that last year, where there was delays in receiving any additional grade 12 results, and so in the first part of the year, the university decided to start making conditional offers on grade 11. That's not certain yet as to what. I think they're probably waiting for just to get to June and then see what process, but we definitely take grade 11 into account. It's definitely a strong indicator. The studies have been done that it is a good indication of the outcome for the final results, but we still do not make final offers based on that. Adam, is there any other question that is? I know there's computer science. There's something about, which is a popular question, and I have seen it come up here, and that is if you can apply to do medicine after 1 year of a BSc, and the answer is yes. But as for the initial intake for MBCHB, it is extremely competitive, and so transferring after a year of a BSc or any other degree for that matter, BCom, BA, they take applications from all the degrees, and they make offers to the top students. So it is only those who have, again, achieved really well in their first year. And so we advise students who are using the BSc as an interim or hoping to transfer is that you must choose to study what you enjoy and which you can see yourself actually carrying on with, because the reality is that is a very likely option. And then also choosing something that you know you will do well in. So there's no preferred majors that health sciences looks at. So human anatomy and physiology is not going to get you into health sciences. If you do really well in maths and applied statistics, for instance, you stand a chance of receiving an offer. They make offers to strong students. That's the main. Okay. So
okay. Thank you. We are getting a 1 minute signal for the end of our session, and I wonder, Karen, if maybe what we could conclude by providing the audience with some information about who they can contact if they have queries about specific admission-related issues. Yes. And maybe that's something we can finish with. We'll do our best to reply to the questions in the chat. I know there's been a lot of questions we haven't been able to get to, but we'll do our best to reply to those. And Karen, maybe you could give the audience some further information about where they can go with questions.
Sorry, so
they can go to the Faculty of Science homepage and they can find names there to email.
Yeah, so that the general email account is sci-science. So the username would be sci-science@uct.ac.za. That's our generic email account. And then those with writing international exams, the admissions officer is Tasneem Mohammed. and she's the best person to contact for that. So it's also tasneem.mohammed@uct.ac.za. But that also would be on our faculty website.
Fantastic.
Sorry about the sharing not working. I have a screen.
Wonderful. Okay, I think that's actually all the time that we have. They're going to cut us off so that our program keeps moving smoothly. Just thank you very much for attending. I hope we managed to answer some of your questions, and we'll continue to write those in the chat. And then, yeah, I hope you join us at our program. We have a vibrant, exciting, varied program, which will give you a lot of chance to develop and experience what you think is interesting about the world. So we thank you for attending, and we hope you consider UCT Science as a destination for your studies. Thank you.